Hello, attendees of the Affluent Conference and the distinguished guests. Thank you for welcoming me to your honored circle. My name is Raquel Miller, and I'm the founder and CEO of Bunchful. We are a social enterprise that aims to shine the spotlight on giving. Now, upon founding this organization, we coined the term bunchful to mean sharing your abundance with others. In the simplest term, it simply means share your gifts with love and generosity with a broader community. As a company, Bunchful has taken the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which are the UN SDGs, that were created as a blueprint for a more equitable, a more sustainable future for all, where we all can live and thrive together. And we have incorporated the SDGs as a mandate to ourselves and carved it into the footprint of our organization. We examine how philanthropy and giving as a whole can help achieve these SDGs. But more on that later. First, I would like to tell you the story of how I came to found Bunchful. Please join me by watching this short video.
Hi, I'm Raquel Miller, and I'm the founder of Bunchful Technologies. Thank you for the opportunity to tell my story. Well, the journey to founding Bunchful began long ago in the Caribbean. I was born and grew up in Jamaica, and I lived the first few years of life with my grandparents in a small farming town. I remember vividly how every day my grandmother would prepare breakfast, lunch, and dinner for my uncle who lived alone across the street. He was old, feeble, and could hardly move, so the neighborhood men would seat him at his front door so he could engage with passers-by and also provide general help, just moving him around throughout the day. The woman brought him fruits and other snacks, but his primary meal concerns really fell to my grandmother, whom I would grudgingly accompany in the early morning hours with breakfast. Well, one morning we arrived to see him curled up and bent halfway between his bed and the floor, and we realized he was no longer with us. But it was long after that when I learned that though we called him uncle and treated him like family, he was actually no relation to us. This really shocked me. I thought about all the years my grandmother fed him and the community rallied around to help with laundry and other necessities. And not just him, also others less fortunate and for whom our gifts could not be repaid. That was my first big lesson in generosity and in sharing our talents and personal gifts to create community. Now, while that lesson stayed with me, it wasn't the only example that helped shape my lifelong quest to create a company that is all about giving. When the schools at my grandparents' country home could no longer support me, my father actually came and took me to live with him, his wife, and my siblings in the city. But that was a wrenching day as I was pulled out of my grandmother's arms. I was hardly 10 years old at the time, and the impact of leaving the life I loved in the small community, along those long winding beaches, along the path in the woods filled with fruits, trees we climbed, birds we hunted, and the games we played while the women gathered along the river bank on laundry days, and all the many other childhood joys I was leaving behind was so devastating for me. I became sickly and then really quite ill. I look back now and opened the doors to those years and the strangeness of my new home, my new family, and all the new things a new city offers. And my father. I was inconsolable that first year, absolutely inconsolable, refusing to participate in family activities or play with my siblings. I lost so much weight that I had to be taken to see doctors. I slowly came to know my new family. And my father. He was many things, my father. But I distinctly remember the first time I went with the whole family to the corner grocery deli one Friday evening, and he gave $100 for the owner to feed anyone who needed a meal. The meal, a sandwich, and a drink, and $100 went a long way in those years. Those many Friday evenings ago when Dad fed more than his family. We would sit and watch with pride as he shared his abundance with others. People lined up endlessly to get a Friday evening meal, ever so grateful to him, to our entire family. But it was that first Friday night when I realized that my father paralleled my beloved grandmother with his generosity. And it was this and other such acts that finally brought me out of my forlorn state and depression. It animated my world, filled it with love, with joy, with pride, and above all, purpose, so that at last I re-engaged in the joys of childhood life. Now here I am in my New York sojourn. Having spent my whole life searching, I have come back to myself, have found my raison d'être. And so I founded Bunchful to celebrate giving and coined the term Bunchful to mean sharing our wealth and abundance with others. You see, for me, givers are the heroes in our world, and I want to spend my life shining the spotlight on those who give. Bunchful is my way of shining a spotlight on people, on businesses, and organizations who give back to their communities. So people like me and you can support them in their efforts, which will help improve the lives of people around the world. I invite you to join me on this journey as we celebrate those who give.
Welcome back, and thank you for your time. I am delighted to tell you that the Bunchful platform includes an annual event series, which is the Bunchful Awards, and the Future of Philanthropy World Summit. We are dedicated to recognizing and honoring individuals, organizations, groups, all those who are creating impact. So it doesn't matter if you're a small group or you're a business, as long as you're giving back to the community, we want to recognize and celebrate your social good. At the awards, we recognize and honor giving, and every year we take one of the 17 SDGs to focus on for the award. And we celebrate those whose giving can help achieve that particular SDG for that particular year. Well, while the awards, I should say, is focused on one particular SDG, the Bunchful Future of Philanthropy World Summit is focused on the broader SDGs. We have workshops, discussions, both with local community partners as well as world leaders. We bring everyone together to discuss tangible strategies and workshop ideas on how we can help accomplish the broader SDGs. We have actually recently created a segment for technologies that are emerging technologies that are addressing some of these broader social problems. I am proud to say that we have actually ourselves created a technology called the Bunchful Atlas. That's BUNCHFUL Atlas. This is the first digital business card to spread the word on how you give back to the community. Again, it's called the Bunchful Atlas, and you may view it at bunchfulatlas.com. For our guest today, we are extending a 20% discount on the annual card with the code VUCA Uplift. That's a VUKA Uplift for a 20% discount on our services for the year. So thank you again. Oh, I should say that there is also a complimentary tier where you may use the service simply as a digital business card. So thank you again. We hope you gain all the knowledge. You have a wonderful time at this conference. And please, if you see us on social, reach out to us. We would love to connect. And you may visit our main website, which is bunchful.com. That's BUNCHFUL.com, where all our services are listed. And like I said, simply reach out. Have an abundant and a very bunchful day.